Hello, my name is Kelly, and I am an interviewer and a mentor for iTutorGroup. And one of the big questions I always get is about canceling your fixed hours. So, purpose of this video is to quickly walk you through exactly how to do that in the iTutorGroup teacher portal. Okay, so one of my favorite things about this company is the super lenient cancellation policy, and I want you guys to be able to take full advantage of it. So I've just logged in, and this is the very first page that you see when you log into your portal. From here, I'm going to go to the Consultant tab and go to the Weekly Sessions booking. So as you may already know, this is where you go to see the hours that you've booked in, as well as your fixed hours. Now, your fixed hours are designated by the M's. Those are the hours that you've selected to work each week, and those will never change. Those will be open for you every single week. Now, in this case, I want to cancel my hours for Sunday. It's important to note on this page that everything is shown in your local time zone. So whatever you have it set to up here at the top of your page, that's what it will show on this page. Now, my whole reason for coming to this page is to help you go to the cancellation system with the correct times. Because in the cancellation system, it needs to be done not in your local time, but in Taipei time. So if you hover over your fixed hours, you'll actually see it pop up. It'll tell you your local time, and it will also tell you Taipei time. So this is really useful. What I typically do, or at least until you get used to your hours in both time zones, is to jot down the times that you need to cancel. Okay, so in this case, when I hover over the first one, it's 1:30 a.m. my time, but it's 8:30 a.m. Taipei time. So I'll just jot that down. And then I'll do the same for the last one. So my hours go straight through until 11:30 a.m. Taipei time because it is a 3-hour block that you can see there. Okay, so I definitely don't want to be up in the middle of the night on Sunday, so I'm going to cancel those for this week. Okay, so once you've jotted those down, it'll make your next step very, very easy. So we're going to go back to the Consultant tab and head down to Session Cancellation, which will open up on a new screen. Okay, so on this page, you can see the requests that you've made to cancel and their status. As you can see down here below, I've already requested to cancel my Saturday hours at the same time, and it's already been approved. So what we're going to do is we're going to head up here to New Cancellation, and we're going to put in a reason. You do always have to have a reason, or else your request will not be approved. So in my case, I'm just going to put scheduling conflict, we'll book additional hours, thank you, with a smiley face, because it's always nice to be polite to the schedulers. Okay, so remember, always put a reason. If you do not, your request will be rejected. Okay, so once you put in your reason, you do have to choose between urgent and future cancellation. Urgent hours will typically be about 48 hours out. So if I'm planning to cancel anything in the next day or two, it will typically appear there. And in that case, it's quite simple. It'll come up as tick boxes, and you just tick the hours you want to get rid of and click Submit Future Cancellation. In this case, mine is quite far out since it's on Sunday, so I'm going to go to Future. And this is where some teachers or some people get a little confused. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is put in the dates. So in this case, I'm going for Sunday the 17th, and I'm going to put that date for both times there. Okay, so it's asking for your first booking in Taipei time. Now, as you've seen before and what I wrote down, it is 8:30 a.m. Taipei time, the hours that I want to cancel. And this is the start time of your first booking. Okay, now the next one, we have the date the same again. And this time we want to put in the start time of the last booking. Okay, so this does go off of start times, not finish times. So because things appear in half-hour blocks on your schedule, the start time of my last booking would be 11 a.m. because that last booking goes from 11 to 11:30. Okay, this is where some people get tripped up. And worst case, if you do happen to put in the finish time, it does not cause any problems. It just means you're canceling an extra half hour that you didn't actually have open. It will still get approved. The world will not end. But just so you're familiar with the system, it is asking for start times there. Okay, so I'm canceling from 8:30 to 11:30 Taipei time. So I've put in 8:30 as the start time of my first session and 11 as the start time of my last session. And that will cancel that entire 3-hour block for me. Okay, so we'll click Submit Future Cancellation, and we'll get a pop-up that says, are you sure? And that you do need to wait for this to be approved. And we'll just click Confirm. And you'll get a pop-up that says, Success! Once it goes through. And then it'll bring you back to your cancellation page that we saw initially. And now you'll see the new request put in there. Now, it will say pending. Typically, with iTutorGroup, it only takes a few minutes for them to approve your cancellations. And while we're waiting for it to do so, we'll just pop back over to our weekly schedule page so I can show you a few things. So I'm just going to refresh this page. Okay, so now what you'll see when you've submitted a request and you come back to this page, your hours that have the M that you've designated as wanting to be canceled will now have a P beside them. And that means that you have a pending cancellation request waiting for approval. Once it is approved, you'll see that it will have a nice blue A beside it. And that means that your hours are officially canceled. You have nothing to worry about as far as getting booked. I always recommend coming back to this page and double checking that you have in fact canceled the right hours and that they are all covered with A's, P's, whatever. Because the last thing you want is to have missed a time slot that you think you've canceled and then get booked for it and get an absence. Nobody wants that. Okay, so you can keep a check on this page. Normally it only takes a few minutes. It may not happen while we're waiting here, but this will change to approved. And then you're all good to go. And you'll also see it change to approved on this page as well. I don't think it's went through yet, but we'll just double check. Yeah, it may not go through while we're in this video. But I will come back to this page quickly just to tell you, if you've canceled a session and you suddenly change your mind and like, oh, no, I really would like to work in the middle of the night on Sunday, I can come here and I can cancel either of these. So if I decide I do want to work those hours, it's no big deal. I just have to click cancel and it will reopen the hours for me. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. It does take a little bit of practice getting used to the cancellation system, but once you do, you can do it quite quickly, as you've seen me do. Okay, I'll refresh one more time just to see if these have changed to A's. No, still pending, but typically, like I said, it only takes a few minutes. So we'll leave it for now. That is how you do your cancellations via the teacher portal. The biggest pitfalls are just making sure that you do put in pay time and that you do double check your weekly sessions booking page to make sure that you have canceled the right hours. And I can't emphasize that enough. Always double check to make sure that you have selected and canceled the correct hours, because I do get a lot of teachers who get absences thinking they've done the right hours and they actually haven't. Okay, hopefully this video has been helpful. Good luck and happy teaching, and I do hope you check out my other videos as well.